Hi everyone, good afternoon. As usual, I'll be giving just 1 minute to allow you guys to come in before we start the business of the day. Um, how is your day going? Those at work, working remotely, those in the office, um, those caught up in traffic, or those watching from their car and device. How is everything moving on with you? Hope you guys are having the judicious use of the day. This is noon. That's Tuesday, the second day of the working days. Hope the weather is treating each and every one of you out there well. Like I said, I'll be giving just 1 minute to allow you guys to come in. You can see it is 12:01. Again, I will just take it up from here, even as people keeps joining us. Good afternoon once again and welcome. For those of you guys that are joining us for the first time, my name is Gagba Esehaya, and I'm one of the training coordinators with the Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple Small Business Development Center helps small business start and grow. We offer free one-on-one consulting and a variety of low to low-cost webinars. We are proud to be part of the nationally accredited network of the Small Business Development Centers, which has over 1,000 networks across the United States. You're here this afternoon on how to grow your business with YouTube. A copy of the PowerPoint and the link to the recording will be sent to all the attendees. Being a webinar, all the attendees have been muted. However, we always encourage you guys to drop your questions on the Q&A and the chat box. Without further ado, please allow me to welcome one of my wonderful presenters, even as she takes over the floor for the presentation. Brooke, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. And I am excited to present again with Temple SBDC. And yes, this is about how to grow your business with YouTube, specifically how to get videos out there on YouTube that draw in new clients. That's literally it, completely organically. In other words, these aren't paid ads. We're just talking about like free videos that you put on there and people find you and then reach out to you to do business. Okay. So by the way, first of all, this is a completely interactive workshop that we're doing. So if you have questions, please put them in chat, put them in Q&A. We'll be checking to see, we'll be checking those two areas to see what questions you have, because I want to make this again as interactive as possible. And all right, and after a little bit, I'll go ahead and also put my contact information along with my YouTube channel, just if you want that for future reference. I also have a ton of tutorials there too on different things. So, okay, so here are my goals for you for today. So one of them is to understand what's important to be successful on YouTube and what's not important, because when I first started YouTube, I had a preconceived notion of like what I need to succeed on YouTube, and it turns out it was completely wrong. And a lot of people have that same thinking that I had. So it's important to talk about. So we're going to talk about what's important and what's not. And also by the end of this, I think some of you are going to be extra excited about really getting rolling with your own YouTube channel. And then there might be a few of you who are going to be completely turned off by it. But a lot of the tips that I'm providing can help you with any video you put out there for all of your social media. So you're still going to learn a whole lot from this. And sorry, I'm just looking for this. Okay, so I do need to do a little build up in terms of why make YouTube videos, because when I start talking about what's involved, like I want you to keep, so your videos have a lot of longevity. For example, when you do a social media post, and I've nothing against social media because this is that's actually my entire career is on that. But when you do a social media post, it only lasts for so long. If you're lucky, if it's like really viral, it might go like a week long, before people stop commenting, but usually it falls flat after about a day or so. Okay, maybe 2 days. When you do a video, if you do it properly, people people could be watching it for years, literally. And now I've only been active on YouTube for the past it'll be almost 2 years, and I will tell you that my most popular videos are at least a year old, and people are watching it. I'm getting like more than, like, I think it's about 1,000 views a month for some of these videos that I made more than a year ago. So you can imagine that. And it also offers revenue sharing opportunities. And what that means is when you watch YouTube, you might have noticed that there are ads that appear before or in the middle of or after videos. Well, obviously YouTube, that's how YouTube makes money, by selling ads to people who want to put ads on videos. Okay. Well, once you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, and I was able to do that within 10 months ish. Okay. So once I was able to do that, YouTube gives you the opportunity to give you 55% of the ad revenue. So it's not a huge amount, I will tell you that, but it's nice. It's nice to get that. Okay, so we have some more questions. Okay. Okay, great. And those questions have to do with getting a copy. Yes. Okay. So really, really quickly, I started late July of 2020. I had 12 subscribers, did everything on my iPhone. Okay. And I just hit 4,000 subscribers yesterday. So it's still a little less than, I've been active for a little less than 2 years, and I'm still using my iPhone. So this is to a point that I'll be telling you about. I now have clients around the world. I have a shorter sales cycle, and I get monthly paychecks from Google. So things I already talked about. And this is an example of, this is a very common thing that I get now, where this is someone who reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, hey, I've been, watching your videos, and do you think you can help me? And then I reached out to her, and she ended up being a really fantastic client. So just to let you know, this is possible for you too. And the last thing I'm going to show you I think is the last thing I'm going to show you before we get into the meat of it, because some of the things I'm going to share with you are a little scary, I think, like, for example, in the last 28 days, I got more than 16,000 views. So imagine, and again, my channel's still small, and yours is going to be small too for a while. Okay. Imagine if you got 16,000 views every month. Imagine the possibility. All you need are like a few people to want to do business with you from that. Okay. So that's the thing. It's been a fantastic business development tool for me. Now, you can also obviously grow a YouTube channel where you're not necessarily trying to feed into your, current business, but I just want to let you know, it really does help you. It helps attract people who want to get to know you better and work with you. Okay. So here are the most common questions that I get about YouTube. And I want to kind of get these out of the way right now, so you don't have to wait till the end. Okay. Spoiler alert, these are not the most important questions you should be asking. Okay. So I will tell you, from a video standpoint, if you just have a smartphone, that's totally fine. It'll totally work. At some point, maybe when I hit 5,000 subscribers or 10,000, I might go to like a nicer camera. But right now, smartphones, like especially the newer models, have like really good cameras. I do have a ring light. I also have an external mic. It basically plugs into my phone. And I also have a tripod to hold my phone as well when I need that, which is usually. In terms of editing videos, I've been using iMovie till yesterday. Now I'm learning a new program called Final Cut Pro, but I've been using iMovie for the last 100 videos. It's free software, and it's fairly easy. I also listed some PC alternatives in case you are not on a Mac. And at some point you may want to hire someone to do the editing for you. And then, how long should video be? This is like the third most common question I get. And the answer is, as long as your video needs to be, but as short as possible. So in other words, I'm sure you have heard people say, oh, you should, only have a video for 30 seconds or a minute, because, that's all you can hold people's attention for. When you go on YouTube, are you usually watching 30-second or 1-minute videos, or are you watching 12-minute videos, or sometimes 15-minute videos, or 7 minutes videos, or 20-minute videos? You're typically watching longer videos. Okay. So make your video as long as it needs to be to do your content justice, so people feel they got value out of it, but don't drag it out either. So that's how long it should be. This is a really strong opinion, and I might insult some, maybe not no one watching here, but I'm sure I'm going to insult someone. But I believe that the people who give that advice about only having a video that should be 30 seconds or a minute long, You should only have a video that's 30 seconds or a minute long if you can have interesting content. But if you're interesting and you provide value, you can go as long as you need to go, because you're going to keep people watching, or at least a decent percentage of people watching. So anyway, that's, I did need to mention that. Those are the 3 most common questions. And before I move on to the next slide, let's see. My channel has been small for years. I've never had any traction on YouTube, and I'm a digital marketer also. Okay, well, I'm hoping, thank you, Lisa, for mentioning that. And I'm hoping that some of the things I share with you really help. I don't know if you've been through this, but I have, I've gone through like numerous YouTube classes. I'm going through another one right now, and that has helped me immensely. And a lot of the things I'm sharing today are kind of like, and I also attended Vid Summit in Los Angeles last September. So, and I got even fantastic ideas from there. So like a lot, really everything I'm sharing, I'm not making up. I am like kind of funneling everything to you guys today. So I hope that you find it worthwhile. And are YouTube shorts worth it? Christine, that is a fantastic question. For those who don't know, YouTube shorts are those short videos that are less than a minute long. They tend to be a little bit more like Instagram Reel or TikTok style in a way. And they, how do I put it? You can get a ton of views from it, but I've heard that it's very hard to get a lot of subscribers from it, just the way the shorts are set up. Most pretty much, and also I have done a ton of competitive research on fellow digital marketers, and well, basically other people in my niche who have channels, and I find that their shorts tend to get the fewest views. Once in a while, you're going to get one that has a lot of views. I have one short that did well for a couple days, but it didn't result in anything really. So, but, you know, I will tell you that, you know, if you want to kind of get a video out there, you know, it's going to be a few weeks before your next video, you know, you might want to do a short just to kind of keep, you know, have some consistency, but I wouldn't, it's very hard to base an entire channel off of shorts, or even half of it being short. So thank you for asking that. That was a really good question. Okay, so those 3 questions that I answered for you are not what you need to know to be successful on YouTube. But everyone asks it, so I wanted to talk about it. Oh, and before I forget, let me go ahead and in chat, I'm going to put in all my contact information. It also has my YouTube channel in there, so you know, just feel free to check it out. And again, my videos, the niche that I'm in is social media, and I focus on Facebook, LinkedIn, a little bit of Instagram, and then overall social media content, video ideas as well. So okay, so here's what I've learned from YouTubers who are wildly successful. Okay, because you can only learn from the best. Okay. The 3 T's. Okay, these are the 3 most important things I believe that will determine your success on YouTube. Okay, and again, I didn't make this up. This is topic, title, and thumbnail, and we're going to go through each one of them. Because what happens is a lot of times people think of like the video making process, the most important part is when you set up your phone or set up your camera and start filming. That is actually a detail. It's actually a detail in the whole thing. Okay, so I really am going to be, you're going to be learning, getting a whole different perspective on this. Okay, so think of it this way. YouTube is different than other social media, because when you're on Facebook and you're scrolling, a video might pop up and it's right there and it's kind of right in front of you, and it, you know, starts playing, you know. But on YouTube, people choose to start, if they're going to start watching your video. Okay, so, and there are 3 things that are going to help them decide if they're going to watch your video. One of them is what it's about, and also the title, what is the title of it, and the thumbnail. And the thumbnail is the image that pops up. So for example, this is an example of, you know, when I'm on YouTube, some of the things that pop up, and it's based on, this is completely based on my viewing habits by far. You'll see some Italian things because I'm learning Italian right now, and you'll see like a thing about like making cakes and all this stuff. Okay, and so, but the key is those pictures are all thumbnails. So when someone's on YouTube, whether it's desktop or mobile, YouTube is going to make suggestions based on your specific viewing habits. Okay. And your video, your topic, your title, and your thumbnail are competing against all the other topics and titles and thumbnails out there. So yours needs to stand out, or at least be compelling enough. Okay. So let's talk about the topic and the three main reasons why people choose to watch a video. One is to be entertained. One is to be educated, the other is to be educated, and the other one is to be inspired. Okay, those are the three main reasons. But what I find is that there's a misconception out there, and I can understand this misconception, as as a small business owner, that my YouTube videos should be almost like little mini commercials about my company. But the thing is, first of all, YouTube is going to see that people aren't going to want to watch, or that video is probably going to be a low performing video in terms of people won't want to watch all the way through. Okay. Which affects whether your video gets shown. But also, let's say you have this commercial about yourself, and let's say for whatever reason, your video pops up as a suggestion, but people also can choose how to make a cake that looks like a realistic apple, or choose how, like, in other words, they're going to have so many other options, which may be a whole lot more compelling to them than watching an advertisement, because they didn't, people don't go on YouTube to watch advertisements, even though we end up watching a lot of advertisements, but that's separate. Sorry. Obviously with this, I drink a lot of water and I have to refresh myself once in a while. So I just lost my cursor. Where'd it go? Okay. So in terms of videos, I want you to focus on entertaining and or educating and or inspiring. My videos are, a lot of people have called my videos edutainment. I definitely educate, but mostly all my videos have an entertainment quality. The one that's coming out this week is way more just educational. I didn't do as good of a job with entertaining, but that's okay. But they're mostly they usually have some type of entertainment and humor and stuff like that. But the key is I'm just trying to provide value. Now, at some point you can certainly start selling. I mean, I'm not going to stop you from selling in your, videos, or mentioning something like, here, get my free ebook so you can be part of my funnel and blah, blah, blah. Okay. But I will tell you that the most important thing while you're on YouTube is to focus on earning a loyal audience and doing everything you can to put out the best content you can so that people want to watch more of your videos. Okay. And if your content has lots of video value, you're naturally going to get clients. I started getting clients after about maybe 40 or 50 videos, somewhere around there, because they were starting to get a little better. My first videos were horrible. I have one video out. I have one of my videos on my channel is about how my videos got better, and I started off horribly. But I really am still not selling at all. On occasion, I'll mention, that, hey, I worked with a client who blah, 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 but that's it. Like, I don't try to sell at all. Maybe when I get to 10,000 subscribers or 20,000, I might start, maybe, but honestly, I'm trying to build a loyal audience who wants to see more of my videos. That's the most important thing, because I'm already getting clients, and you can too. And by the way, I do, I just consider myself very ordinary. Okay. So, my growth has been above or ahead of the curve, but I'm not an outlier by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm not an outlier. So anything I'm sharing with you is completely realistic for you too. Okay. So topics. So how do you get your ideas? Okay. So, you want to look for channels in your niche with, if your channel's really, really, really small, like 100 or fewer subscribers or something like that, which in YouTube terms is considered really, really, really small. Mine is still very small too. Okay. I'm still considered a micro channel with 4,000. So, but anyway, you want to look for channels in your niche with less than 5,000 subscribers, maybe around 5,000 if you can, and check out their videos and sort their videos by which ones are the most popular. Okay. And then of those videos, look for videos they have that are less than a year old, and you'll be able to tell because it'll have, the dates, you'll be able to tell, and have more views than subscribers. Okay. So the reason you want to, and also ideally, you'll be able to check to see if there's still, these videos are still being watched. And there is a software, and I do mention it later. It's called, I'm going to put in chat if I can find chat. It's called vidIQ. Okay, just like look that up. And that can tell you, is this channel still being watched? Like how many views per hour is it getting? So in other words, you're looking for, okay, so again, you're looking for the most popular videos. They're less than a year old. They have more views and subscribers and people are still watching them. Why do you want to do all this? Well, you want to do this because these are videos that are topics that most likely are in high demand. And so what I do is I pay attention to those videos. I pay attention to those types of videos among, others in my niche. And then I'll also search for that topic and see who else has made videos about that, and see if I'm also seeing some type of trend. So, and if I see a trend where, wow, these videos tend to do, these types of videos on this particular topic tends to do really, really well, then I'm going to jump on it and do that. It's always better, especially in the beginning, to do videos that are based on things that people actually search for on YouTube, because if you're just, because YouTube needs to know how to index you, and YouTube needs to know, it has to figure out your audience, and the way for them to figure out your audience is by having topics that people are looking for. And if people are looking for something, then YouTube knows to show it. So I hope that helps. It was a novel concept for me when I first started, and I hope that it helps you. I wish I had known this when I first started. My channel would be actually way bigger than it is right now, but this is something I just learned maybe 3 months ago. If I'd known this in the beginning, I would have, oh wow, yeah. I can only imagine. So let's see, what do we have in chat here? Could you please drop the link again and your contact information? Thanks. Okay, I have it. It's literally just, okay, I'll do it again. Sure, no problem. It's like, if you just scroll up just 2, it's right there, but maybe it didn't come through. Does that come through? Can you confirm that came through and you saw it? Thank you. Okay, okay, cool. Awesome. I'm glad. I apologize. Maybe there's some type of glitch or something like that. I'm seeing it, but maybe you didn't, maybe it's not coming through on your end. Okay. So we talked about the topic. Now let's talk about the title and the, it says, what does Vivian do? What does vidIQ do? I think, is it vidIQ like that? Okay. So, vidIQ is a free software. I apologize. I probably just said it too quickly. So thank you for asking. And I do not mean to say Vivian whatsoever. Okay. So, so vidIQ, it can help you determine a bunch of different things. My favorite thing is seeing, it's a free plugin basically on your Google Chrome. So when you're on YouTube, it'll actually show you how many views per hour a video is getting. So if I see that it is getting views per hour, then I know that it's still an active video, because sometimes there might be a video that got, let's say it got 10 months ago, it's 10 months old and it has 100,000 views. You're like, wow, that's awesome. This is amazing. But you notice there are no longer any views per hour. What probably happened was someone probably paid to have that video promoted, but it turns out it wasn't that good of a video. So no one actually organically wanted to watch it. It only got views because someone put money towards it. So that's why I want to make sure if it's still getting views per hour, then most likely it's because it's a really good topic. vidIQ also, you can do keyword research. And I do some of that, and you can determine the popularity of different keywords and different types of search terms to see what people are searching for. But I will tell you, the views per hour thing is the most important thing for me. I'm just checking the time right here. Okay, cool. We're good with time. Okay. And let's see. Oh, there's another question. Thank you, but you are speaking very rapidly. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I will do my best to slow down. it's hard for me to slow down, but I will do my best. Okay, so the title and thumbnail, the title shares the value, and okay, thank you, Shelley, I appreciate that. What I do find, that actually brings up a good point. When you're doing your YouTube videos, be natural. I'm naturally a fast speaker, and I find that if I try to slow down, I sound really unnatural and inauthentic. Okay, I'm not authentic when I do that. And some people, I've gotten plenty of comments on YouTube with people criticizing me for that, but I've gotten just as many from people saying, oh, thank goodness, finally a video I don't have to speed up to watch. I can actually get a lot of value out of it. So there will be people who won't like your style, and there'll be people who do like your style, and that's okay, because we all have different tastes. And it's totally fine. But I will try to slow down a little bit, because I do know that I am sharing a lot of information here. There's only so slowly I can go before it starts sounding really robotic. But in life and on YouTube, be authentic, and it'll really make a difference. So, okay. So actually, I'm glad that interaction happened. That made me think of something to tell you. Okay. So the title and the thumbnail, again, the title is the name of the video. Okay. The title shares the value. In other words, here's what you're going to get out of watching this video. And I'm going to give you examples. And the thumbnail augments it with story or emotion or more value. Okay, so again, the thumbnail is the image, and the title and the thumbnail work together. And again, I'm going to show you different options here. And I see something else. Check. Okay. Oh, you guys are so nice to me. I really appreciate this. This is turning out to be a really awesome Tuesday. And I do see a question in Q&A. I do see a question in Q&A. What do you do when you get discouraged? If anyone will hear when you say, and you get 13 views? I have been there, Regina, and I still get discouraged. Some of my videos I spend hours and hours and hours and hours on. And if you saw my videos, they're incredibly involved, more involved than maybe they need to be, because most of my competitors aren't doing what I'm doing. And it really discourages me when I get a few views. But I'm trying to think how to put this. It's all part of the process. And what happens on YouTube is that you typically end up hearing from people who, like, you know how I said I'm not an outlier, which I'm not, but a lot of times, a lot of the success stories we hear are from the outliers, like from the person who said, I went from 0 to 100,000, in subscribers in 1 year, and I get thousands of views for all of my videos. That is it's so rare. Okay. If you are, it's so rare. So what you're doing is part of the process. And believe me, I got a few views as well. I do share my videos on social media, which helps a little bit. But I have found that one thing actually I'm not going to be talking about here, which I'll mention, is if you're already publishing videos on YouTube, there's the YouTube analytics, and you can look to see, there's a section where you can see audience retention charts, where you can see with each video where people are staying and where they're dropping off. And if you start to really analyze it, and when I started to really analyze it, I got a good sense of where I was losing people. And then I would just try to constantly fix it. So, and that has helped me, and that helps the video perform better, which ultimately gives people, gets people more interested in watching. But also the topic, title, and thumbnail have a huge impact. So I understand the discouragement. Everyone goes through it. Like everyone, I don't know of a single YouTuber who doesn't go through some type of like emotional crisis. I'm sorry to say that. So, and I have also, but just keep plugging away. If you know what you have is really, really good, just keep on doing it, and what I've been trying to do is I treat YouTube as a puzzle that I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, that didn't work. What can I do to make this work? And then just treat it more as like a challenge. And that'll be really, really good. You guys are asking such really good questions. And do I have a LinkedIn account? Yes. If you, I'm going to put in chat, if you just look up Brooke Grubb Miles, you will see, you'll find me there on LinkedIn. Okay, so, oh, I still have a bunch to cover, so let me go ahead and continue. Please ask questions. I just want to make sure it keeps me happy, but I do want to also continue with this. Okay, you're welcome, Jessica. Okay, so this is a crazy piece of advice, but I heard this about a year ago, and it's really helped me a lot. And that is, figure out your title and your thumbnail image for your video before you start scripting or outlining or otherwise planning your video. Okay, because I want you to think about this. Your video doesn't start when it starts playing. Your video starts with that title and the thumbnail, because that is the expectation that people now have it, and it's the promise that you said that you will deliver on your video. So that is actually the starting point of your video. And once you've figured out the starting point of your video, you can script everything from there. So, and the reason I mention this is because I used to do my whole video, and at the end, I'm loading I'm in the process of uploading the video, and then I'm like, oh my God, I didn't do a thumbnail image. And I'm like, so I quickly throw one together. I'm like, oh, I guess this is a good title. That strategy does not work at all. It's a horrible, horrible strategy. So also what happens is, if people already know what your video is about, and you already know what the title and the thumbnail will promise, then you don't have to repeat that in the beginning of your video. You could just start going straight into the content. Okay, so you also may want to seriously consider outsourcing your thumbnails. I use the last several months I've been using a vendor called Custom Thumbnails. By the way, they're not a sponsor. They're not paying me to say this. I'm just going to tell you, like, it's $100 a month, but I get 4 designs. I get 4 designs per month with unlimited revisions. So I'm only paying like $25 per thumbnail. They have also, if you don't plan on doing 4 videos a month, they have other options, which are less expensive, but that has been completely worth it. And the other thing I found worth it is, for example, on the left is my original title and thumbnail. And that is the thumbnail I created on my own. I did my best. That's as far as I can go artistically. I'm just not that good. Okay. And then this was the title that I slapped on: the basic Instagram marketing strategies to master. Again, this is on the left side. I noticed with that video that it was performing well for the few people who saw it. And I spent so much time making that video that I was like, you know what, let me redo the title and the thumbnail. So I asked Custom Thumbnails to come up with a thumbnail, and they came up with the one on the right. It's more pinkish and more Instagram-y, and you'll see there's a heart, and it looks a little more dynamic, and I also changed the words in it. It says what you need to know, which is better than saying basics. Okay. Also, people like the word tutorial, which I learned. So I put tutorial in the title. And when I did that, if the red arrow is when I got the new thumbnail title, and when I got the new thumbnail from Custom Thumbnails and uploaded the new thumbnail and changed the title, and you'll see that my click-through rate changed. Okay. Another one that happened, this is why title and thumbnail are so important, because you don't want to spend hours and hours and hours, or even 2 hours or 1 hour making a video that no one's going to watch because you didn't market it the way it deserved to be marketed. And this I've had to learn the hard way. So on the left-hand side, I thought on the left-hand side is what I put together originally. I thought it was pretty good. I thought, hey, this is how, people like your video, and this is how you make money. I thought this was really good. Well, that flopped. I gave it to Custom Thumbnails, and they came up with the one on the right-hand side. And you'll see the point where I gave it to Custom Thumbnails, and when I changed the title, and you'll see that my click-through rate went higher, because the higher your click-through rate, in other words, the percentage of people who, when they see your video title and thumbnail, click on it, that means you're going to get more views. So let's see. is it customthumbnail.com? It's either custom thumbnail or customthumbnails.com. Just a second. Wait, I will tell you. Just a second. It is, that's my calendar. Like, okay. Custom thumbnails. Customthumbnails.com. That's what it is. So anyway, thank you for asking. That was really, yeah, so custom thumbnails, plural. Okay, so we talked about title, topic, thumbnail. I think I exhausted that. So let's talk about your content and your mission. Okay, so you nailed down you nailed down your topic, title, and thumbnail as best as you could. And now you're like, okay, so now I'm trying to plan out my video. What should I be doing? Your mission is to get as many people as possible to watch till the end. Or, you know, as many people to stick around as long as possible. And so you want to make your first 30 seconds of your video as wow as possible, because most viewers, or I would say it's usually 30 to 40% of people leave in the first 30 seconds. So because the video is dragging, because blah, blah, blah. So you want to, believe it or not, and oh, I was so stubborn about this, and I kick myself for being so stubborn about this. I used to have one of those branded introductions. My logo would do this little, you know, dancey thing or whatever. It was only 4 seconds long, but I lost people during that time. It wasn't providing any value, and no one cares about a dancing logo. Okay. I also now delay my own introduction. In other words, in terms of saying, hey, I'm, you know, Brooke Miles, and I help you create a social media program you can be proud of, da, da, da. You know, I actually do that later after I've delivered some value, because I figure the people who are if they're still watching the video after, you know, a couple of minutes or 3 minutes or whatever, you know, those are the ones who are probably curious about who I am. But I don't want to lose those people in the beginning, because again, they didn't click on that title and thumbnail to find out what I do. They clicked on that title and thumbnail to get the value that I promised I would deliver. So I sneak in my introduction later. I just did my longest video ever last week. I published it. It's like 22 minutes long. I didn't introduce myself till 9 minutes in. And it's okay. It really is. Maybe you don't have to be that extreme, but this is what I do. But in the end, get to the heart of your content as quickly as possible. And then here's another thing I learned: encourage people to watch the next video. Okay. So if you watch any of my videos, actually, I think all of my videos do this, I believe. Well, all in the last year and a few months. Okay. Which is when I learned it. You'll see I say something like, now that you know, blah, 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 your next step is to learn how to blah, blah, blah. So watch this video in the top right corner. Actually, I'm sorry, top right corner. I don't know which way you're seeing me right now. So I guess let's say this is the right. So watch this video in the top right corner and you'll blah, 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 blah. Thanks, and see you in the next video. It's called an end screen click-through rate. Okay. And it is one of the key metrics that YouTube uses to determine whether your video is worth recommending to viewers and showing up in, you know, all the other, you know, titles and thumbnails out there. So I worked really hard, and I will tell you, as many mistakes as I've made and I continue to make on YouTube, and as it's a journey, this is the one thing I've nailed. The average click-through rate on, so please watch, you'll see what I do. And sometimes I even in the middle of the video will plant the seed, like, by the way, I'm telling you about blah, 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 but you'll really want to know about this other thing. And if you stick to the end, I'll give you the link to that video, because you'll definitely want to watch that. So I'm trying to guide people through that journey, because ultimately YouTube wants to keep people on YouTube. So they're more likely to recommend your video if they see you're keeping people on YouTube by having people watch to the end of your video, then click on to watch your next video. YouTube likes that a lot. But the average end screen click-through rate for a video on YouTube is 2%. And I've been averaging lately like 10%, 15%. Even my 22-minute video, 7% of people make it to the end and click through to the next one. Okay, so really work hard on that. But don't waste I do have a bullet point that says, don't waste your CTA. CTA is call to action. don't waste your call to action on asking people to subscribe. People will subscribe when subscriptions actually only make the YouTuber feel good. It's a vanity metric. You may have noticed when you're on YouTube, just trying to see what videos are out there, you're scroll, whatever. You might have noticed that you get a lot of suggestions from channels that you're not subscribed to. You're slightly more likely to get recommended a video from a channel you are subscribed to, but it's not that much more. The YouTube algorithm they're just trying to suggest videos that they think are going to want to keep you on YouTube, regardless if you subscribe to someone or not. So don't, if you want to get someone to do one thing, don't make it for them to subscribe. Make it for them to get to the end of the to wait to the end of the video and click on the next one. Because if you ask people to do too many things, they will not do it. As a matter of fact, you'll notice as you do competitive research on other channels in your niche, that the smaller the channel, the more likely they are to say, like and subscribe and comment and follow me on Instagram and follow me on Facebook. They ask for all these things, and it's counterproductive. Just get people to the end of the next. Just get people to the end. I am just now starting to ask people to like my video, because it is I'm learning that can help the algorithm, but I just started doing that. So anyway, I hope I might have beaten that point down quite a bit, but I hope I was clear on that. Okay, let's see. So we have some questions. I hate when YouTubers ask me to subscribe. If the content is good, then I'll do it on my own. Michael, that is exactly right. That's exactly right. If someone's smart enough and they want to, they'll subscribe. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Let's see. Thank you. That was an awesome point. Corey asks, is a YouTube channel good for a local business that needs local clients? Does your video show up in a local search? If for example, if someone's in Philadelphia and they're searching for, let's say you're a realtor, okay, and someone is, I don't know why they would be on YouTube searching for Philadelphia real estate, because they should be on Zoom or I mean, not Zoom, I'm sorry, Zillow, all the things that start with Z. But I mean, you can do local searches on YouTube. And actually I was consulting a client of mine who is a realtor, and I said, what's really going to help you the most with having YouTube videos isn't necessarily someone finding you locally, but it's more like as you're talking with a client, and I do this too, by the way, and it's been fantastic. I'll say, by the way, just so you can get to know me a little better, here's my YouTube channel, and there's lots of helpful stuff, and it's been closing the deal. Basically, I found that from a local standpoint, it doesn't necessarily help as much with that as with just the fact that you're going to be able to seal the deal a lot faster by having professional content out there. So I hope that helps, Corey. That's a fantastic question. And there's also a question that was in chat. Let's look in Q&A. Daryl asks, what are your thoughts on videos that allow viewers to fast forward to specific segments? Daryl, thank you for asking that. Those are called chapters. And a lot of very successful YouTubers have been recommending that for quite a while. And I was stubborn about it. I'm like, no, but you know what? I now do it. I now put in chapters because I figure they're going to try to fast forward anyway. And I'd rather, the whole point is to serve the people who are watching your video and to make it as good of an experience. So if they want to forward to the next thing because it's going to give them the value they want, then you should do that. I will also tell you that if you put in those chapters, and by the way, you can name the chapters, obviously, if you name them in such a way that they are Google searchable, then that segment of your video can show up in a Google search. So we can actually help your SEO by doing this. So thank you for asking that, Daryl. And Sean asks, any tips on giving viewers a compelling reason to visit your website? Well, for example, if your website has something specific that they can achieve that they can't achieve on your channel, for example, maybe you do have an ebook and people would have to click on the link to go to a place for an ebook, but there should be a specific reason for that. I would do that, and I wouldn't do it for every video. I really wouldn't. You want to be focused on delivering as much value as possible. But again, to your point of, hey, you're watching this and you know what, I have this tool that can really help you, or I have some more information that can really help you, I'll include the link in the description, click on it. And I think that, that can certainly help you. So you can certainly do that as well. So thank you so much for asking that, Sean. And let me just quickly check the time. Okay, 12 minutes. Let me just do another slide and then I'll look at the other questions. So we were talking about the importance of keeping people watching. So this is a video, one of my earlier videos that I really did horribly at. And you see that in there's a red line, it's towards the beginning. It's like right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but that's this 30-second mark. Okay. And you'll see how much of a drop off there was in 30 seconds because I had my dancing logo and I'm like just taking my time introducing myself and subscribe and all the things that you shouldn't do. And I was doing all of those wrong things. And by the way, do you see the pink line, the entire pink line? That is called a hockey stick. See how it starts up top and then it kind of goes, it looks like a hockey stick on its side. That's what's called in the YouTube world. You don't want the hockey stick. So this video where I didn't pay attention to the first 30 seconds, okay, I just dragged things on and did not provide value and get things rolling in the first 30 seconds. Here's how devastating it can be for your video. I ended up with only 1.6 people at the end of the video actually clicking on to watch my next video. Only 0.02% of people subscribed. It should be closer to 1 to 2% of people subscribed. And YouTube was only giving me about like $1.62 for every 1,000 people who watched. Okay, so, or this one I did a better job with this video. You can see I was able to keep people a lot better. 9.9% of people are sticking till the end and clicking to the next video. 1.2% of people were subscribing and YouTube was giving me $30.45 for per 1,000 for views. So that's how important it is to do the first 30 seconds. And let me just quickly check in chat here, see what we have. Let's see. Okay, great. So, oh, and Christine, thank you for your comment. Thank you I'm glad you're liking the presentation. Michael has to leave early, but I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Francis, I'm so glad thank you. Thank you for loving the workshop and subscribing. I appreciate that. Let's see. I have not seen the previous point in recording how to get it. Garb is going to be sending the PowerPoint and recording to everyone. He does that outside of me. Christine asks, what is a good goal for end screen click-through rate? Just a second. More than 2%. 2% is the YouTube average. So if you're above 2%, then you're above average. But if you're like trying to like build up the next video in the middle of the video and at the end, you literally need to point. Okay. And you'll see even at the end of my videos, I have a graphic. It says watch next. Okay. Like it couldn't be clearer. Again, like my percentages have been really good with that and it's been super helpful. So anyway, so more than 2%, it would be good. Okay. So, content. Okay, so you want to build a relationship with your audience and you want to make it clear. I feel like I'm reading from the slides. Sorry about this. But don't try to please everyone. Like I mentioned before, okay? So just your channel's you're gonna take a certain stand on a certain thing and have a certain take and make it clear what you stand for and whom you serve. So for me, it's like if you watch enough of my videos, you learn that I'm really catering my content for small businesses, and I'm all about saving time with social media and simplifying social media and not asking people to tweet 15 times a day because it's a quote unquote best practice. So you kind of learn about all of that as you get to know me. So you want people to get to know you and what you stand for. So, and again, you will attract the right audience when you do that. When you can tell stories, I'm okay in this area, but I'm not great at it. I've only had like a few videos that I could really truly say I was telling a story from beginning to end while teaching my content. That's been a little bit of a struggle for me, but I'm just going to put the best practice out there for you. Be vulnerable. I'm incredibly vulnerable in most of my videos. I share my mistakes. I share like everything I can, because ultimately people are coming for the content, but when they see that how real you are, it's going to be super endearing to a lot of people, and they're going to want to connect with you. And before you know it, they're watching their videos to watch you and get to know you. So don't try to be a know-it-all. I know that, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, but in marketing, I've always thought that you'll be successful by being the authority of your subject. And yes, you are the authority, but it's better to admit like, hey, I used to make this mistake too, or, this used to confuse me, or I can understand why, why one would question this because I used to too. The more then people kind of can relate to you more, and they're going to want to watch more of your videos. Create rituals. This is something I've been working on, and but it's something where you always have some type of thing. I'm trying to get more consistent with having my 14-year-old son do a little segment of my video. That's not been consistent, but that would be considered a ritual. And encourage comments when you can, if it makes sense. But it should be in the context of something like, hey, I just talked about blah, blah, blah. What do you think about that? Or, what's your favorite blah, blah. Like ask a question specifically, and that'll help encourage people to get to know you better. This is, I think, the last slide. Cool, we're making good time. Okay, so here's some other helpful tools for you. Don't feel like you need to use them right away. Just like ease into them. Okay, so Canva, most of us have heard of Canva. That is, it's like the graphic design tool for non-graphic designers. And I've used that for thumbnails, but I also still currently use it for a lot of my video graphics that I add to my videos to help illustrate points. Epidemic Sound is great for music and sound effects. Storyblocks is if you want some stock video footage, it's good for that. I already mentioned vidIQ. And then you just want to, but again, ease into the tools as you see fit. And I see one other thing from chat. How many videos should we do a week to jumpstart your business? Jessica, that is a fantastic question. And there's a huge amount of debate about this. Okay. Oh, and I can't wait to answer Christine's question too. Oh boy. Okay. So in terms of Jessica's question, the advice out there, a lot of people will advise to post a video twice a week, and then eventually you can ease to once a week. And I did that, but I will tell you that for me, and this is, yeah, I'll go back to the helpful tools, Karen. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. So how do I put this? But I will tell you, if I spend a lot of time on each video, like a lot. And I can't always manage to do something once. I can't always manage to do a video once a week. I just can't. Sometimes I need 2 weeks. There was one time I needed a 3-week break. And it's okay. Take as long as you need to, but try to be consistent. I think it's better personally to aim for quality. At the same time, you still want to make sure you're doing enough videos that you learn from them. And even when I was doing videos twice a week and my videos weren't as good, and I was driving myself a little crazy, trying to pump out these videos that weren't that good, at least I was learning from it. And I had a slightly faster learning curve because I was getting them out. Because one piece of advice I heard was the only way you get better doing video is by doing video. So it speeds things up. Okay, so the question was, how much time do I set aside for editing a video? For a 10-minute video, you're going to need to sit down for this. You probably are sitting down, but stay seated when I tell you this. For the level that I'm doing, and you'll see I have a ton of graphics, and I have all these jump cuts and I'm spending between 1 to 2 hours per minute of video. Seriously, but that includes everything from, but that's not just the editing. That is the topic planning, the scripting, the editing, going back and forth with custom thumbnails on my thumbnail. But it's about 1 hour to 2 for every minute of video. But you'll see I do way more editing than my other people in my niche are doing, but that's how I want to present my videos. I'm not saying you need to make it that complicated. It's just that I'm making it that complicated. And then can you go back on that slide? I think it's the helpful tools one. Thoughts on YouTube live video. Let's see. I actually bombed on YouTube when I did the YouTube live. Long story short, it did not work. I even deleted the whole video, but it had to do with I wasn't in a place with really good internet. That's really good for building your community. I'll just leave it at that because we're running out of time, but it's a fantastic community builder and I should go back to it, and I do advise it. So let's see, Karen, you're welcome. And then how'd you get your first video done? I just started talking and it was the most awkward thing ever. Your first videos are going to be really bad. And even my videos 6 months ago, I look at them and I cringe. And 6 months from now, I'm going to look at my current videos and cringe, but that's because you're always getting better. So thank you everyone for and Christine, I love your face that you made, but yes, that's what I do. But feel free to reach out to me if you have other questions. I'm out of time, but thank you again. You guys have been fantastic.
Brooke, thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. Just want to use this opportunity to thank all our attendees for keeping it a day with us. Before we wrap it up, I just want to draw the attention of our attendees once again that I did posted a 30-second survey about today's webinar. Remember, we at Temple SBDC, we always cherish your feedbacks, even as it helps us to improve on the services we provide to you guys at a no cost. So kindly take 30 seconds of your time to help us out to fill out the survey link I just posted. We are, like you rightly said, we are long time. I think in the absence of no any other question, we'll just call it off the day. Thank you and do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye.